Yo. What's good?
You look beautiful today.
How y'all doing? Welcome back to another episode of Me and My Dukes.
Yes, we are a not so perfect family, just figuring things out.
Yeah.
Yep. So today on our podcast, we want to talk a little about anxiety. College,
Life
everything
itself.
is happening, and we're on the verge of going back out. I don't know why I feel like my throat is. Does it sound scratchy to y'all? No? Okay. But life is happening, and we're living in an anxious time, where people are anxious, things are happening around us that's making us anxious, and so we really just want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Looking at him like this. So, anxiety. I looked up the meaning of anxiety because I am who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so the definition of anxiety is intense, excessive, and persistent worry and fear about everyday situations. Fast heart rate, rapid breathing, sweating, and feeling tired may occur. So, but it's basically a fear or a persistent worry about. It could be any situation. It could be about bills. It could be about school. It could be about friends. It could be about relationships, jobs, work. It could be about, just about actually comparison, the unknown. It could be about the unknown.
That's facts.
It could be, it could come about by comparing yourself with other people and stuff like that. So it could present itself in a whole host of different things, right? Sometimes childhood trauma could also add to it, things that you've been through as a child that's now impacting your decisions, your choices, how you feel about things, because we all see things through our lens, through our own lens, and that lens may be impacted or affected depending on where we've come from, our experiences, and such and so on. So I'm gonna ask you guys a question, of course. Do you get anxious feelings about anything at any time? Because this is the thing, anxiety is not necessarily permanent. It can come and go, and it can be about different things. Like what would make one person anxious may not make the next person anxious.
Yeah. I'm not going to say it's normal, but I feel like
we all kind of get anxiety.
Everybody in their life
at some point
has to experience anxiety. And I do experience anxiety sometimes. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's a fact. Definitely going through my everyday life, I'm trying to figure out how to deal with anxiety.
Yeah.
Anxiety is like one of the biggest things affecting our youth right now, affecting all of us, and you just got to find a way to push past it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it's learning to deal with it too, because it just pops up, like Daniel said, it just pops up so many places. Like it's here today, here tomorrow. Situation gonna pop up tomorrow that might give you anxiety, and you got to figure out how to solve it and all this other stuff. So, but I just feel like everybody does definitely experience it for the most part.
Yeah, for me, I get it when I'll be like, it's the start of the week and nothing's happening, and then one plan pops up, then another plan pops up, then I got work, and then I have to worry about this and that and how I'm going to get there, how I'm going to get back, and then all of a sudden my mind's on a spiral, and then I'm just like, so many things to think about, so much going on, and there's no time to stop and pause, and that's what gets my heart like beating really fast.
Yeah.
I always seem to get anxious. I don't know why, because whenever I'm getting ready to go into work, I get anxious, but I always get anxious, and then when I walk in, it's just like,
dissipates.
Why was I anxious? It's just little stuff like that. And then school, like I was saying, it's the unknown that I get anxious about. I don't know what to expect, and which I need to work on.
Yourself.
Yeah. So I feel like it's more of of course it's a mental thing. Yeah, right?
Yep.
But I feel like for anxiety, it's the fear of the unknown, basically. And once you get comfortable in your steps, Once you get comfortable in a routine, once you get comfortable in your life, I feel like anxiety should subside a little bit. It's always going to be those things that you're going to be nervous about. But as you, I guess, know more, or you feel more comfortable in the things you do, and you know that your outcomes are always going to be along the lines of what you planned it to, I feel like anxiety will start to subside.
Yeah. Okay. I think the most important thing that we need to know about anxiety is that it originates with a thought. And the Bible tells us what to do with our thoughts. He tells us what things to think about, what things to keep our mind stayed on, so that we don't end up in anxiety. Right? And when we try to figure things out on our own, and when we try to be the answer and come up with the solution and figure everything out and know what's going to happen today, what's going to happen tomorrow, how it's going to shake down, and we gotta know, then we end up in anxiety. We end up with these anxious thoughts, and it's really negative thoughts. The Bible calls it rebellious thoughts, because when we have negative thoughts, they're not the thoughts that God has taught us to focus our minds on. Our minds should be stayed on whatever things are good, whatever things are true, whatever things are of a good report. So it's telling you, when you're thinking about your life situations, not that you're going to live pie in the sky kind of way, but when you're thinking about your life situations, think positive thoughts. If you think positive thoughts, you're not going to end up in anxiety. The reason why you end up in anxiety sometimes is because you're forecasting a negative outcome. So you're thinking, okay, what if it goes wrong? What if I get embarrassed? What if this person don't show up? What if? And all your what ifs are not positive. All your what ifs end in this doom and gloom outcome that hurts you, that makes you scared, that embarrasses you, that causes you to be ashamed. So these thoughts that are coming to us, we have to find a way to control them. Yeah. If we can control these thoughts, then we can control the level of anxiety that we experience. So I want to read a scripture to you. Matthew 6:25 says, "Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what you shall eat or what you shall drink, nor for your body, what you shall put in it. Isn't life more than meat, and the body more than raiment?" So basically what this scripture is saying, don't worry about these things. It's not saying not to plan for them. It's not saying have a vision for them, have an expectation for what you're going to eat, have an expectation for what you're going to wear, what you're going to put on. It says not to worry about it. Take no thought, right? So what I have today is a simple experiment, right? Y'all go along with me. To eat? No, they're not. So I have some fruits in this bowl, basket, whatever you want to call it, right? And these fruits in here represents your thoughts, right? So let's say this lime is a sour thought. It's a thought of fear, gloom, something bad happening, things not going as you plan, right? This orange is still not so good. You're thinking about maybe you're not going to have enough to pay your bills, enough to support your lifestyle. You're not going to have what other people have. And then the grapes are going to be, I know technically grapes normally are sour, but they're sweet grapes. So the grapes could possibly be good things, peace, joy, happiness, right? Your family loving you, stuff going well for you, prosperity. The mangoes on the bottom, the mangoes could be an abundant life. It could be your goals, realizing your goals, meeting your favorite, author or artist or whatever things make you happy. So these are the fruits. These are the things of your future. These are your thoughts. These are everything right here, right? So what the Bible is saying to us is there's things to think about, but take no thought. What does it say? Let me be sure. Yeah, it says take no thought. The thoughts that are negative, the thoughts that causes us to be, overwhelmed and frustrated. Don't take those thoughts. It's giving you a basket full of thoughts. It's giving you good thoughts and it's giving you bad thoughts. And it's saying to you, choose which thoughts you're gonna think. And depending on the thoughts that you choose, those are going to be the outcome of how you feel from day to day. So I can pass this basket around and I can give you a fruit. I could say, hey, Daniel, take a fruit. There you go, taking the lime, the negative thought. I just said the grapes were good, the mangoes are good. You know what I'm saying? So this is how we have to do. When these thoughts present themselves to us, what we have to do, put them back, push it away, go for the good thoughts. Go for the thoughts that's going to make you feel good, the thoughts that's going to make you, be at peace and stay calm. And then the next thing is prayer. And I know that sometimes we can get in a situation where we feel, or we can get into thinking, the thought process of, what is prayer going to do? I've had people say to me before, don't tell me to pray, just tell me what to do. Prayer actually works, guys. And I'm here to give the, I guess you might want to call it the cliche answer, but prayer actually works. Inviting God into your plans. If you don't try to do it all on your own, you won't feel overwhelmed about it happening.
Amen.
Because in your strength and in all that there is in you, your abilities are limited. There's only so much that you can do, but there's so much more that God can do through you. So let's talk about some of the things that normally happens when you feel anxious. So you feel nervous, you feel restless or tense. You can even get angry because now these thoughts are building up. So anger is, you feel anger rising, right? Your heart rate is going to rise. You might start sweating, trembling. You might feel tired because when we experience certain things based on our thoughts can make us sick. And if we have the wrong thoughts, they can cause us to, by these symptoms and by these examples, now it's affecting our body. Right? So this is why it's so important that you push back on negative thoughts, that you don't take them. You choose what you're going to think. So what do you do when something bad happens, when something bad comes up, when a bad thought comes up? You have to cast that thought down.
Go get some ice cream.
So we're going to talk about one of the ways that you can help, or one of the ways that you can deal with that too, right? You can try, there's some practical things. So if you say, Marsha, I'm not into praying, I'm not about all that, there's some practical things that you can do to actually alleviate that feeling of anxiety. And one of the things is taking a time out, stepping away from all the thoughts, all the whatever it is that's boiling or going on in you. You can step back.
Yeah. And, and people always think that in order to achieve something, you have to keep working and constantly work nonstop. Yes. And I don't know where that idea came from, but
the grind mentality.
The grind mentality. But it's actually, you actually can get more stuff done if you just take a moment to pause, to let it breathe, and to just come back for your mental health. There's so much going on in life that if you don't take a moment to rest and build up your strength and get a new mindset on things, you could get blown out.
And a new perspective.
It's the clarity. It's the clarity that it brings.
If
you are always grinding, always 100% on something, you that's all you do, that's your hustle, eventually you're going to become clouded because you can't see anything else. You don't get any other perspectives, and you don't get a break to see the progress that you made, to see the course correction that you need to make. Sometimes taking a step back, breathing, and looking at what you've done, and then going back to it is what gives you your clarity, what gives you your breath, will calm you down so you don't get these anxious moments.
And I think sometimes talking to someone that you trust.
Sometimes you have all that stuff pent up, and then you're thinking about it, and it's just tormenting you. And talking to somebody, it frees it from your mind.
Let it go. And when you talk to somebody, when you're feeling all these overwhelming anxious thoughts, it's only your perspective. It's all you.
Irrational thoughts.
But if you share it with somebody else, they might say, well, actually, no. Look at it this way. They give you a different perspective that may bring peace, a different perspective that may give you some hope from a different lens, We gotta value the different lenses in people, because everyone see things based on their background, their experience and stuff. And so they might bring a different perspective based on their experience, So talking to someone could help. Of course, you want to make sure you're talking to someone that you can trust, But talking about it normally helps as well. And next thing is rest. Getting enough sleep. I know y'all young people is all about staying up all night, but that staying up all night wears on your body. It wears on your mind. It causes you to not get the rest that you need, and not your brain to not refresh and recharge like it should. So now it starts to malfunction, more or less. So you will be surprised how getting not even a quick 30-minute nap, but enough sleep at night. And sometimes if you can get a nap during the day, it can reset you and give you a whole new burst of energy, and a whole different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
That's facts. In the military, when we on the ship and you grinding all day, you in between watches or something, you can catch a good little 30, maybe 45, 15 if you get the time. That's all the boost you need sometimes to keep going for the rest of the day.
Yeah, and it makes sense, because if you don't have enough sleep, like you said, your brain isn't functioning to the fullest capacity, so you're not producing the best results, like the results you want to achieve.
Yeah.
So it's like a never-ending thing. Like, maybe if I work harder, it'll turn out how I want it to turn out. Getting less sleep, and then the quality starts diminishing.
Yes.
And you think sleep is just like a non-important part, because it's like you sleep every single day, so you think you get enough sleep, but sometimes you have to reevaluate and reset things so you can get that important sleep.
Yes, you do. My next thing that you can do is exercise. Exercise is one of the biggest things, because it really boosts your adrenaline. It gets you going. It releases endorphins that makes you feel so good and feels powerful and feels so strong and confident. Like you can take on anything and you can do anything. You can be anything. I remember, Jazmine, when you used to run for marathon. When you used to do the marathon high running and stuff like that. That was a good time in your life. You felt confident. You got up. You looked forward to that, And you had us all in the house thinking we could run a marathon.
Yeah, I would wake up and I would be like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. And then I get there and I start running and I'm like, this was 100% worth it. Like, I felt like I can do anything after that.
Yes, because of the endorphins that's released. And then when you work out, studies have shown if you work out and then take a shower and work, you produce more.
Yeah.
It's
like it almost set the trajectory of your day. Like if you do something productive, you want to keep that momentum and keep doing productive stuff.
Yeah, and I was reading this book. I'm still reading it. It's called The 5 a.m. Club, and he was even talking about taking a nap and going for a run in the middle of the day or in the evening, in the afternoon, and giving yourself that second, we call it a second win. You know how people go to coffee and they're like, oh, let me get a shot of coffee and I'll be ready to go. But that's not actually a healthy way of resetting your body.
Makes more anxiety, if anything.
After what coffee and alcohol do, but these are the top things that people go to.
I like how you looked at me.
I was facing this direction, sir.
She was engaging with you.
I just don't think Buddy live in Florida, because taking a nap in the middle of the day and waking up to go for a run, you might go outside and melt away.
Well, later in the afternoon. Or some people run on the treadmill. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It ain't got to be outside. Right. But just trying to get that second wind of energy and that second wind of endorphins that actually make you feel good and stuff like that. Yeah. And the next thing I'm going to talk about that we take for granted more than anything else is just doing your best and knowing that you've done your best. So that's such a major thing, but we take it for granted. We always want more, and we don't pause to enjoy what we've already accomplished or what is right here and now. We don't always take stock of our accomplishment and just say, you did a good job.
If you don't value what you've created, you're always going to think, I can do better, I can do more, I can do more and more and more and more. But you got to appreciate what you produce. Like, you made that. That's an accomplishment in itself.
Exactly.
Yes.
And don't forget to, I don't know what's the best way to say it, but treat yourself, right? Make sure you take time to show yourself that you appreciate you, right? The first step to anything in life is actualization. Is I ain't got the word for it, but make sure you know. I'm sorry. Make sure you know that what you're doing is what you want to do, and make sure that you're happy. Awareness.
Yes.
Is that first, right? The first step. That's it.
I think coming back to what you said, really loving and appreciating you, appreciating your efforts, your commitment. Go back to where you were. Take some time. Look at some old pictures. Look at whatever it is you're working on. If you're working on music, go back to your music when you first started. If you're trying to lose weight, go back to what you looked like before, and actually take time to see how far you've come, and then say, girl, you're doing something.
Look how far you come. That's always
yeah, look how far you've come. Take your time to give you kudos, to celebrate you, love on you. I feel like sometimes when we experience anxiety because we don't have enough self-love.
Yeah.
We're looking outward, trying to get acceptance, trying to achieve a certain thing so that we can look a certain way, so that we can impress a certain person or people, so that we can be who we think, everybody's gonna like, or who we think everybody's trying to aspire or get to, or the person on Instagram, or the person that live across the street, or the person at the job, only to realize that sometimes when you actually accomplish those things, they don't feel how you thought they would have felt.
Funny story. When you get the self-confidence, because confidence is key. I say it all the time.
Yes.
Confidence is key. Once you get that confidence and you start loving yourself and you start looking in the mirror and be like, oh yeah, he wrong, or she wrong. You just look at that and look in the mirror and say that to yourself. When everybody else starts seeing you and they see that glow of confidence,
Yes.
and when you start posting or you doing your thing on a regular, it's like it's the same effect you were trying to go for, but it's a natural one. It's one that you can stay in because it's true. It's true to yourself,
Yeah.
and it feels even better.
And
Yes.
and going back to what you were saying, I can't remember who was saying it, but I was watching, what is his name? Not Michael Todd, but one of the other guys that preaches, and he was saying,
Furtick?
huh?
Steve Furtick?
No, it was it's
R. Kelly?
No. But
Go ahead.
he was James Metcalf, that's what it is. He was saying we get so invested in going here, like you say, when I get here I'm gonna do this, when I get here I'm gonna do that, but he was saying there's never a here, because
Hair is always moving.
because when you get here it's just there. No, other way around. When you get there, it becomes here.
Yes.
And there's always another there. So
yes.
we can't be so invested in going there without focusing on where we are right now.
Wow. That's
facts.
good. That's good. It's always shifting.
Yeah.
And you know what? When we get to where we wanted to go, like you said, there's always a new goal. So you forgot that at one point, where I am right now, at one point I was praying to just get here.
Yeah.
I was asking God to help me just get here.
That's
nice. And you forget that that's an answered prayer.
And that's why, another thing, I think we talked about goals in the episode before already.
We
but
did.
Write them down. Once you write down your goals,
Yes.
and then you take that time, whether if it's once a week or once a month, you take that time to sit back and reflect, or you look at your goals, you see,
How much you've done.
I've done this. I'm here now. Boom, this is the next step. But you always see your progress and your momentum and what's going on, what's carrying you.
Also with goals, you can write down a plan for each day, because what used to make me
that's
anxious
major.
is think about all the things that I have to do, and I'll think about that so much that I will forget. I know this sounds crazy, but so now I write everything that I have to do down, and that helps me keep track of where I am and what I have to do, what I've already done, so that I'm not trying to memorize it and worry about memorizing it and new things popping up. I can see it clearly right in front of me, and it helps me to stay on track.
Yeah, and I think I love it. I do that all the time. I write daily goals, and it makes you see what you've accomplished at the end of the day, so you feel like, oh, my day was worth it. Or if you see that your day is shifting away from you, it's trying to get away, and you're like, oh, I still got 5 more things to do. Let me go in overdrive. Let me go, let me make sure that I accomplish this. Either that, or you can see, okay, I didn't get anything done today, but I can tomorrow it just means I need to focus. And if you go a few days or even a week and you're not accomplishing your goals, you can have a bigger conversation with yourself. Like, you've made yourself these daily goals and you're not hitting them. Why? Is it too much? Am I too complacent? Do I need to switch some things around? Do I need to do less TV? Do I need to do less time on my phone? I need to track my time. Where is my time going if I'm not accomplishing the things that I want to accomplish on a daily basis? But if you're not tracking none of that stuff, what happens is a week turns into 2 weeks, turns into a month, turns into 60 days, 90 days, half a year, and you feel like you're not accomplishing anything. And that starts eating away at you too. And now you're having anxious thoughts because now you're like, I can't accomplish anything. I can't get anything done. Nothing is working for me. Nothing is going right. But step back and start just tracking your daily, your time. Where's my time going? It's like when you have money, sometimes you run out of money. You need to track, where's my money going?
That's facts.
So now you need to track, where's my time going? And what am I investing? Where am I putting my time that's going to give me the best results? That's going to give me the best return on the time that I'm spending? Because time is currency. Time is currency. So if you're wasting it on TV, if you're wasting it on Instagram, if you're wasting it on Facebook, you're not investing in something else that could benefit you more.
Yeah, in the long run.
In the long run, and even in the short run, because even in short time, you can still feel so unaccomplished, which could cause you to feel anxious, But if you have milestones, you have things that you're accomplishing, it wars and it fights against those negative thoughts, because now you have stuff to challenge it. No, I'm not dumb. I accomplished X, Y, and Z. No, I'm not stupid. I did do. But you have to have something to, combat those thoughts with. In addition to the word of God, you want to have tangible things that you can see that says, oh, when I set my mind to do something, I accomplish it. I may not get there 100%, but I've come so far, or I hit the target. All I got to do is go a few extra steps. But you have to find a way of pacing yourself and seeing where you are with things.
Yeah, so I think we should start wrapping up. We're a little over time.
Oh my gosh, this episode was so good. So I do want to say, seek medical care if you are experiencing something that is more than you can handle. Talk to a doctor, talk to a family therapist, get the opinions of others. Don't just sit in it and let it overwhelm you or let it beat you down. There's people that can help you, that can get you walk through this stuff step by step and take you on the other side.
That's facts.
Yep.
And another thing, the last thing that I've been thinking about it this whole podcast, Mommy was saying it, when we rely on ourselves, we're self-reliant, that causes most of the anxiety. Anxiety most of the time comes from us thinking, how am I going to do this? How do I do this? And it's focusing on yourself. And when you pray and you trust and believe in God, we're not meant to carry all this weight on ourselves, for ourselves. So when we put it all on God and you just trust Him, that's where it also comes from. Not trusting Him, you don't see Him working fast enough for you, or you don't see Him working at all. But you just got to trust in Him and not rely on this stuff for yourself.
Let go. Yeah. Let God. Let go. Let go and let God.
Ooh.
Y'all can sign me though if y'all want to. You feel me?
Diane dropping bars. I guess we got more than one vocalist in the family. Jonathan, you've been quiet this whole episode.
No,
people are going to think we did something to you. They're going to think we dragged you here.
Yeah, me and Johnson been taking everything in.
Yeah, both of y'all been quiet this whole entire episode. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm struggling with some anxiety myself, so you guys seem like you know what you're talking about, so I'm just listening.
Okay, good.
You ain't the only one, baby.
Yeah.
The only one.
And it's not something to be ashamed of.
No.
It's not something to be ashamed of, but it's something to bring to the surface. And what I really think is admirable about this particular session, Jonathan, you've been looking like you know, taking notes, like what's going on here. And Danielle, you've been vocal about it. You like, I experience it sometimes. Black male especially, they don't admit that they have some issues or some mental things that they're worrying about or that they're overwhelmed about, and so that makes it worse because they carry it and then they release it on the people that they love. They release it in relationships, in very toxic ways. So just to admit or just to say to yourself, there's some things that's bothering me that I can't handle on my own. That doesn't mean that you're less than a man. It just means that you're human, just like a woman. You know what I'm saying? You're human, and like Jazmine said, you weren't meant to carry it. Community is everything. This is the reason why we need community so that we can. What?
I just didn't like that analogy. I did.
What?
You said it doesn't mean you're less than a man. It means you're human, like a woman. That's
No, what I mean is human beings. You're human, not
alike in humanness.
Yes, there you go. Thank you, Jazmine. Alike in humanness. You know what I'm saying? This means that you're gonna experience. You know what? Why we don't think it's bad if you get a cold or you get, God forbid, I'm not even going to say that, or you get COVID or you get diabetes or you get any other thing that a woman could get, and I can make a comparison to that and it won't be a problem. What?
I feel like when it comes to mental health issues or anything like that, because that's what it is, for a male, especially a black male, it's kind of like coming out of the closet. That's basically what it is. That's how it feels. That's how it feels.
Oh wow.
That's the comparison that's like could reign true for a lot of people. Like that's how they see it. It's looked down upon. It's looked as weakness. That's what it's looked as. And I think when people need to.
It could be used against you.
Yeah, exactly. It could be used
especially
against you.
Like if you're a man, it's tend to be used against you more than if you're a woman.
Exactly. Because for a woman, we're supposed to cherish, support, and take care of our women.
Yeah.
Nobody's there to cherish, support, and take care of us. We're supposed to be the ones, the breadwinners, the ones that's supposed to be doing.
I am here.
But yeah, so that's why it's looked at as that. But if you didn't know, we're here to let you know that you can always come and seek help for yourself, because at the end of the day, the only way to get better is to invest in yourself.
Yes, you have to invest in yourself. But I'm glad that we're talking about it, and hopefully, our small conversation could impact somebody somewhere, some male be in some way to know that you're encouraged. You don't, listen, all this again is negative thoughts in our heads, fueled by people that don't know what they're talking about. Because your mental health is just as important as your foot health, your toe health, your bodily health, your arm, your nose, your sinuses, physical. Your heart, your everything physical. There you go. I'm just trying to show you that your mental is not something that's outside of you. It's part of your body that needs to be taken care of. And as long as you have a body, you have a mental capacity to become overwhelmed.
As long as you have a brain.
Right.
I would hate to think you could have a body without a brain, but okay. Okay, I some people do, but okay. I digress. But what I'm basically saying is, you know what I'm saying. If you have a mind, if you have a brain, there's a possibility that at some point it could become overload. And it's just like your phone. It's just like your your phone, your laptops, anything. You can charge it. If you do too much, you could overwhelm it. You can kill the battery. You can.
In some cases, it can explode.
Some cases, it could explode. So it's just part of your system that needs to be cared and groomed and taken care of like anything else. So men out there, do not feel like you can't say anything. Okay. I digress. I think I've had my say.
This has been another great podcast, another great episode of the Me MaDukes.
Yes, sir.
See you next time.
Thank you much. Bye.
See y'all next time.
Hey, so that's it. Thank you for watching today's episode. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. New episodes drop Wednesdays each week. Remember to hit the notification button so you never miss when we post. See you later. Bye.